Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. I have part two of the Mantid message today. So part one, if you haven't seen it, it's already on YouTube. It's the last video I did. This is a message or a conversation that I had with the Mantids the day after the last message was recorded. Um, and the message started off. It was funny because I asked them, "Hey, is it okay? Do you want to channel right now?" And they came to me, and they said, "I see you are tired. Do you want to channel later?" And I said, "No, I think I can still do it. Um, you're very kind. You'd be so considerate." I was kind of surprised. And he says, "It is important to take care of your vessel. It will dictate the quality of your incarnation experience," which we all know, right? That's why that's why Metatron keeps telling us to take care of our bodies first so that we can take care of our spiritual stuff. Um, I told him, I know, but I can't sleep right now, so I might as well channel because it was like, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 in the morning because I very frequently wake up in the middle of the night and stay awake for the remainder of the day. So it was one of those times. Um, and it's really quiet, so it's really easy to channel. So that's why I was like, well, if I can't sleep, I might as well channel. So he says, very well. And I was really impressed with just the consideration coming from them. I guess I wasn't expecting them to feel so human because we don't even have another word for it. Clearly, they're not human. But I said, I like talking to you. And he says, we like talking to you too. And I'm looking at him and he's got his little antenna and he wiggles them at me. I was like, you just wiggled your antenna? Because it was really cute. It was really cute. It's ridiculous. And he said, we can be silly too. And just being around his energy the second time, I was starting to pick up more information. And I think he was giving me a little bit of downloads too. And both the mantids were back, but it was the second mantid that was talking to me again, which is the one that spoke more in the first message. Um, and I was like, I was I was I a mantid? And he says, yes. And I was like, I was a mantid with you and with that other mantid. And he's like, yes, yes. And he's like smiling because he can see that I'm recognizing and remembering things. And I was like, I know you guys. So I started guessing, like, are you this soul? Are you this soul? Because a lot of times we tend to keep reincarnating with the same handful of souls that we just adore. So a lot of times we'll have lifetimes with them in totally different bodies. So I figured it out that they were two of my guides. Um, so when I figured out that they were guides of mine, again, instead of saying yes, he just wiggles his antenna at me. I was like, okay. So I said, what else do you want to tell me? And he says, the second planet ever made was made for the cyborgs to inhabit as they were impacting too much of Ghana. So as it was shown to me visually, it wasn't like, oh, God made this beautiful, lush, wonderful incarnation experience, and here you go, cyborgs. This is your brand new planet. It was kind of like we just threw something together to get them off of Ghana because God had an agenda that he had certain outcomes that he wanted from certain lifetimes to make a certain storyline. And I think these guys were kind of messing up his plans, and he needed to get them off to quit interfering because that darkness that was introduced and that darkness that grew on the planet, that was unexpected. So this is kind of how God rolls, is what I'm seeing, is that God will just throw a bunch of stuff together and it's like an experiment. He just steps back and he's just like, oh, almost like me. I wonder what will happen. And so things start going in a direction he doesn't want them to. He adjusts, he changes his plans, he changes his approach. And that's something that I've seen consistently from God. You think God is like, sitting back there and he's got it all figured out. No. Every time I'm shown, sorry. I'm being honest. I'm getting feedback right now. Um, every time I'm shown God, yes, He is all knowing. Yes, He is all knowing, but He's learning. He is learning. He is being placed in my opinion, based on what I've been shown, he's being placed in a body, um, like Metatron, like someone who is incarnated on Earth, who is a soul of Metatron. He is experiencing things right along with us down here, but he's also experiencing things from the perspective of the all-knowing, where he knows everything, but he's still learning, which I don't know. I guess that's kind of contradictory, but that is 100% consistent with many, many sets of information that I've received on God. But anyway, so the cyborgs were made. They had a second planet made for the cyborgs. So I'm going to continue this message. Other planets were made. So we have Gana, the first planet. We have the second planet. We throw all the cyborgs on this planet. Now God's like, cool, everything's great. Let's start building other planets. Let's start building other solar systems. Everyone had forgotten about the cyborgs. Really? But they didn't stay on their planet. So everything was lovely, right? But meanwhile, the cyborgs are figuring out how to get off the planet. They spent years honing their AI skills and built spaceships to get themselves off their planet. They knew other planets had been built. They started attacking from the air, the younger and more vulnerable planets first. So if you think about this, of course you don't want to start off with Gana, right? Because they have the oldest souls there who have the most knowledge and connections and everything else. Let's start with one of these planets that was, just thrown up in the last couple hundred years. Brand new souls. They're going to be much easier to pick off. There was not a connection then between all the planets. So this is showing you how early this is in the history of creation, in the history of time, that we weren't all linked up and communicating with each other yet. There were no alliances, there were no federations, there were no other spacecraft. The cyborgs made the first starship. That's crazy. Messages were slow to travel across the solar system to inform planets of the attacks taking place on others. Metatron channeled plans to Tanakans to build spacecraft. So Tanakans, so I've been aware of a planet called Tanaka, where the Tanakans are the species on there. I've not come across this name on the internet. I hope somebody else has gotten this as well, but I've gotten this name multiple times for multiple reasons. So the Tanakans built the craft that was going to be used by the Galactic Federation of Light. So this is before the Galactic Federation of Light was even a thing, before they were even assembled. It was everyone started working together. The Pleiadians began organizing a galactic council. So we have the Tanakans building the spaceship, we have the Pleiadians organizing a council. Next, we have communication was sent through Metatron to all planets once alliances were formed. And the way this communication is being sent is psychically. I can see that this is somebody like me who can channel on each of these planets, who's getting these downloads. Requests for volunteers to serve on the Galactic Federation of Light began. An elf from Ghana named Ashtar was named as their commander. Volunteers were chosen quickly, and training plans were developed by the Arcturians. Excuse me. And that makes a lot of sense because Arcturians are known for being kind of like the great teachers of the universe, right? Archangel Michael trained those in combat positions. I don't have any more information on combat positions. That's all I have on this. The Syrians developed defense technology for the starships. Mintakans, I hope I said that right, developed navigation systems for the ships. Polarians designed the living quarters and recreational areas. People from Orion, which I think you call them Orionids, so that's what I'm going to say, they designed regeneration rooms for sleep and spiritual balancing using specific frequencies. Lyrans, not sure how you say that, developed the food and waste system. The Greys, who are from Zeta Reticuli, provided medical equipment and training for personnel. Andromedans provided star maps to include in the navigation system. Vegans from Vega provided the starship's design and blueprints, which is what was moved to Metatron, which Metatron then channeled to the Tanakans to build. So one group made the blueprints, one group actually built the ships. Blueprinters filled many leadership roles and provided the water for the starships from their sacred waterfalls and quartz crystals for the ship's equipment. So I have so many questions about this. What is so sacred about that water? Like, let's talk about this. Like, what components of that water were beneficial for the starships? So I have a lot of questions on that, but I don't have the answers right now. And the quartz crystals that I saw that they were using, and I don't understand how they were using it. They were using it, I could see it like within the mechanical or metal parts of the starship. So it's almost like the way we use quartz crystals in a watch, but I don't know anything about watchmaking. I'm just aware that that is something that is done. So I'm not sure what the quartz crystals did, but when I saw the quartz crystals, they were Lemurian quartz crystals, which they have certain markings on them. They look a certain way. We associate them here with being originally from Lemuria, which is a place that was part of Earth a long time ago and no longer exists. And so they aren't originally from Lemuria. They're originally from the first planet, from Ghana. They were a transplant species. They were something that was donated to Lemuria and donated to Earth by that species when Earth was being made. And if you don't know, Earth is basically like this living library of every species across all the universes. So if sometimes I'll have a vision of another planet and they'll be like eating a banana and I'll freak out because I'm like, how can you eat a banana? There's no bananas there. And they're like, of course there's bananas here. This is where bananas came from. And it just blows your mind that every animal, every plant, every crystal, every whatever is a transplant, is a gift from someone from another planet to this composite planet. So it just kind of blows my mind. So I asked the Mantids, did the Mantids contribute too? And he says, oh yes, we have secret knowledge that we contributed to assist with strategic navigation. We have knowledge on manipulating time-space, black holes, time travel, and things of this nature. We are a very cosmically and energetically aware species and have compiled secrets for a very long time. It was a good use to share it with our galactic alliances. There is knowledge that each group that I discussed earlier contributed as well, but we will not go into that here. And I said, show me about your life. And I see like a mantid underground, and I started kind of laughing and freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, they're like ants. They live underground. And he says, at times, yes, underground is a good place to receive certain energies. However, it is dark and isolating in large chunks of time, so only as needed. We are more compelled by the cosmos and their secrets. There is so much history and understanding waiting to be observed. We enjoy observing and documenting, much like your scientists do on Earth. We are a curious and knowledge seeking species, but never to the point of interfering with the natural world or others. In our youngest of days, we made mistakes. We involved ourselves too much and did more than observe, and it changed outcomes. We are quite mindful of that now. All things are interwoven with each other. A small change anywhere is a change everywhere. So that is the end of his message. These are really, I was not expecting to be fascinated by this species, but I feel very connected to them. They remind me a lot of Arcturians who are knowledgeable and very personable and just very likable. Um, but the difference is that I personally feel a connection more with the Mantids, so I must have either more consequential lifetimes there, or I made more relationships there, or I just had more lifetimes there. I don't know. But for whatever reason, I resonate more with them. So it's very easy to channel them. And I would love for them to show up again and have me channel them more. Um, but of course, we all just resonate with whoever we've had more lifetimes with, right? Or whoever we have those past relationships with. So to each our own. Um, So this is everything that I have for you guys today. In the future, for sure, there will be a message from them because they are one of the 13 groups that's doing the Lightworker Gateway Energies. So there will come like a 30-day period sometime between now and the beginning of next year where they are contributing energies to just Lightworkers to benefit us on our journeys. So before that happens, of course, I hope I will get a message channeled from them. Um, but until then, I don't know how far away it is, but until then, hopefully they stop in and maybe they'll explain the that sacred waterfall information to me because I actually really want to know about that. So if I get anything else, I'll let you guys know. I hope everyone's having a really good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.